All right. Once again, very good morning, everybody. So I think we can kick off the session, and it's uh, wonderful to have you here on a Saturday morning as part of this session. Uh, so yes, Ardhun. Good to see you. Good morning. Yes, thank you so much for joining in, and really privileged and honored and excited to be hosting this session and being a part of this session. And uh, looking forward to looking forward to give all of you lots of insight by the end of the class, wherein we are able to understand how data science is leveraged in the retail industry. And specifically, I'll try to give you use cases on Walmart. So that is one of the things that I will try to do at the end of today's session. Here is a small introduction about myself. I am somebody who comes with 13 years of industry experience. I have worked across multiple organizations in my career. I started my career in 2010, where I was working primarily on the uh, data engineering side of things, right? And the part of where we are taking data and we are trying to do ETL and trying to build a data warehouse. I was working on a lot of databases and data warehousing stuff in the first 1 year of my career. And from there, I moved on to the advanced analytics and data science side of things. Although the term data science was not as popular back then, as much of it the hype it is today, but I picked it up early on and found a lot of excitement in it, and that's where I made my career. I do consulting at Walmart, and I also teach for many universities as a visiting faculty on different courses on AI and ML. And I'm also a very active part of the instructor panel at Alma Better. I take a lot of courses and I take a lot of sessions even in the organization. Okay, so looking forward to have a very exciting session with all of you, which is actually which includes a lot of prizes, a lot of gifts to be won, and looking forward to it, everybody. All right, so let's come to the agenda of what we are driving and how we are driving the session here. Good morning, everybody. So we're going to be talking about e-commerce entirely as part of today's session. So the whole agenda of the class will be to talk about e-commerce, and we'll see how AI is artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques are used across the e-commerce sector. And we are talking about organizations like Walmart, organizations like Amazon, organizations like Flipkart in the Indian context. Flipkart, as you know, is a Walmart company. Walmart has made investments in Flipkart, so technically they are part of the same company today in the Indian context. Because in India we have this FDI in limitations in retail, which is why foreign organizations cannot directly set up operations in India. Which is why you don't have Walmart stores in India. You don't have Carrefour stores in India. You don't have the major chains which are operating in India because of FDI in retail. But then many of the foreign companies, they make partnerships with Indian companies and they operate physical stores. Amazon is not a physical store, but then Walmart operates physical stores in India also through subsidiaries. So that's the idea. So we'll talk a lot about e-commerce and we'll see a lot of different use cases in the e-commerce space, different applications in the e-commerce industry, and we will see how artificial intelligence and machine learning is used in the e-commerce industry. Uh, Initially, it will be a bit of an overview level analysis that we will do. And as we go along the session, I'll try to get a little deeper into the technical aspects as to how certain things are actually done. At the same time, I'll be mindful so as not to cover too much of technical stuff. I'll make it exciting enough so that people understand uh, what are the aspects where it is used, but I'll not make it too tech. Okay, so that's how we'll try to drive it. And we'll, of course, see a lot of use cases with respect to computer vision, natural language processing. We see a lot of aspects of chat, GPT, and everything we see. And one of the things that we will do is we'll observe how these kind of things are used in the context of e-commerce also. Okay. And towards the end of the session, we will get into the aspects of uh, the Alma Better program. That is the last part of what we will try to drive. And we'll talk about the program and we'll understand what kind of sessions we conduct and what are the topics we cover. And obviously, many of the things that we are doing here, how these are also part of the curriculum. This is more like a masterclass, but then we will give you an idea of the program as well as we go along, followed by a quiz, which comes with lots of exciting prizes that we'll do at the end of the session today. All right. Generative AI. Okay, wonderful. I think I'll try to. I'll try to bring up some cases on that. Yes, I'll do that. I may not be showing you technicalities and technical stuff there, but at least a couple of really cool demos we can definitely see. Yes. All right, let's kick off here. What is e-commerce? What do you mean by e-commerce, and how do we look at e-commerce? Okay, what e-commerce is an industry where, if you look at it, it has completely disrupted traditional brick and mortar retail. Traditional brick and mortar retail was what our parents and grandparents, were a part of, where they will go to a local shop, a local vendor. Physically, they will buy something and they will come back. And the trend is still extremely prevalent as we see in today's world as well, right? Now, the idea is more like online retail has revolutionized a lot, especially since COVID. Especially since COVID struck, we have seen a lot of focus on online retail. I'm sure each one of you in this audience has some exposure to online retail, where we can simply access an application at our fingertips and we can order something. And we also had excellent examples of companies like Zepto, which became billion-dollar companies and unicorns overnight. In fact, the founders of Zepto are basically college graduates. They founded Zepto during the time of COVID. I think 2020 is when Zepto was founded. And in a matter of 1.5 years, they ran up a $1.5 billion valuation or something. Okay, so these are success stories that we have seen in the e-commerce space. Uh, and COVID has basically fueled this growth in a big way because customers also, existing customers were always there to stay. But one of the things that COVID actually did was it really, really brought in a lot of new customers into the mix. And customers started realizing the value. If you look at the overall value chain, if you look at the overall use case where e-commerce comes in handy, customers really started realizing the value of e-commerce because customers started realizing that, hey, we don't need to go back and physically visit a store or something. We can just kind of come online and we can be a part of the setup, and it's a win-win situation for everybody. Okay, customers get to win because lot of this convenience and there's comfort. They can order from their home, they get their products delivered. And even businesses get to win because the businesses don't have to set up a physical store because a lot of investments involved. Imagine you're a small business and you want to sell something, right? You have to then figure out a way to rent a place, take a go down, take a warehouse, put some products there, pay the rent, electricity. All of those hassles are there, right? Isn't it? So there's too many hassles. Like e-commerce has revolutionized that space in a big way, where the need for offline presence has completely gone away, right? And we are seeing the same trend even in education. This is something very similar to what we are doing in Alma Better also, right? So we feel that whatever education we are imparting through schools and colleges physically, why can't we do the same experience online? This is creating convenience for customers, which is people like you, and it's also creating convenience for us, people like us, where we're able to interact virtually over a virtual medium with very good infrastructure. In fact, if you see, I'm using a ultra HD camera. You can see me very well. You can see my expression. Everything is the same. There's no difference. And of course, the next level of analysis is how we take it forward even further and how we get into augmented reality. In fact, during COVID, we had some of these technologies that were experimented upon, where companies were starting to come up with headset-based learning, where students were given headsets and uh, they were actually asked to put those headsets on, and the teacher was teaching something. The students were wearing the headset. Everybody could see each other. Isn't it incredible? Like imagine in this audience, all of you are there. If you turn on your cameras, I can see you physically. But what if I could have all of you wear headsets? What if each one of you could wear headsets and we could kind of see each other? Wouldn't it be incredible? Okay, that's the next level of where we are headed in terms of AI ML in this context, right? So with this in mind, Moving on, what are the coming back to e-commerce once again? These are the major players that we have in the Indian context. The global context, I will of course focus a lot on Walmart because that's where I come from, and I'll try to give you lots of use cases on Walmart here. No introduction, no, nothing new here. Everybody is aware of Amazon. Everybody is aware of Flipkart. Meesho, maybe not, but Meesho is also a platform that we have where you can buy products. So Meesho is again a slightly lesser known name, but it's become very popular of late as well. Okay, all right. Now moving on, what type of problems do we are we solving in the context of e-commerce? When we talk about an e-commerce company, what types of problems are we solving? Let's get a little structured now. Let's understand what type of problems we are solving and what types of machine learning techniques we are using to solve these problems in the world of e-commerce. So the first and the most important problem that we are solving in the world of e-commerce is marketing. Sales and marketing is a very, very important function, and you have to make sure that organizations are you have to make sure that organizations are creating awareness and they're creating a social buzz, and so that customers are aware as to what kind of products you're actually selling. That's a very important component here. So organizations have to always constantly create awareness. There's a social marketing campaign you have to do. You have to make sure that, hey, we are selling this particular product. You would have seen during Amazon product launches, let's say there is a new phone that is getting launched. Okay, there's a Redmi phone launch, or there's a Vivo phone launch, or there's a Samsung phone launch. Oftentimes they will have exclusive partnerships with certain retail companies like an Amazon or a Flipkart or something. And oftentimes they will run promotions on the website. Okay, you can sign up for promotions and things like that. Okay, this is the part where you're creating awareness, you're creating buzz, you're trying to get many first time users. If you already have an account in Amazon, that's fine. We're trying to increase conversion rates. But if you do not have an account in Amazon, we're trying to make sure that you come to the platform and at least you check it out. That's the marketing part. And we use a lot of AI and machine learning in that particular space. In case you're curious that, sir, how are we using artificial intelligence in marketing? I'll tell you what. India is 2 billion people, right? So I can't just go about sending 2 billion personalized messages. I can't call up 2 billion unique users and call them up on the phone and say, hey, you know what is a Samsung phone that's getting released? That's not feasible. Marketing is a very important function because without that, no sales will happen. Uh, so how do we do marketing in a way which is very efficient? Instead of calling each and every person manually, and instead of asking each and every person that, hey, you know what, you want this product, you want to buy this product, things like that, what we can instead do is we can instead identify who are the people who are very likely to come. Okay, we can instead try to identify that out of all the customers we have, who are the people who are very likely to come, and people who are very likely to convert, people who are very likely to buy the products. We will go and so for the people who are very likely to buy the products, we will go and we will effectively call up only those customers where the probability of conversions are high. Eh, We call them leads. In the world of sales and marketing functions, we use a term called leads. We call it leads. And the idea here is more like we don't go back and, as I said, we don't go back and call up each and every person. Rather, what we do is we identify who are the people who are likely to convert, who are the people who are likely to convert, where the probability of conversions are high. And wherever the probability of conversions are high, we go and call up only those customers. So we don't go back and call up each and every person because, mind you, it comes with a cost. If you set up a call center, outbound call center operations team, and you ask that call center person to call up each and every one of the 2 billion customers, then it will be a very costly endeavor. A, it will take a lot of time. B, it will take a lot of money because that person who is calling up each and every customer, they're spending a lot of effort. They're making calls. There's a cost involved. There's a time involved. And also, uh, you are effectively ending up calling every single person and even people who don't even have an application. They don't even have an app. They don't even have a smartphone because you have mobile numbers, right? You're randomly calling people and you're saying that, hey, buy our product. But that person doesn't even have a smartphone. And if you don't have a smartphone, you can't even access an application. So you want to define your target audience, and there's a huge amount of AI, ML, and analytics that is used to define what that target audience will be. Like for example, our target audience will be primarily from tier one and tier two cities. Let's say we can define based on our budget, based on our cost constraint, that hey, we want to only go up to tier two cities, not beyond that. Because up to tier two cities, what will happen is people will have an application, people will have some amount of internet access, and it will work on the basis of that. Okay, so this is one very important use case we are talking about, and just a related concept here will be the sales funnel, the marketing funnel or the sales funnel. How do you optimize and how do you make this particular sales funnel very efficient? These are some of the general steps that we have as part of the sales funnel. The very first step is a customer comes across a particular advertisement. This could be an advertisement that you deliver on different platforms. It could be calling, it could be text messages, it could be a television advertisement that you show, or it could be an Amazon front page advertisement that is shared. Amazon is trying to win first time customers. If you already know Amazon, then it's worthless. But people who are not using Amazon, they are the target audience. Let's say those first page newspaper ads on Times of India you come across one day. That's a huge cost for the company, right? So when you're making that kind of an investment, you want to do a lot of analytics to understand that I'm also getting a very high return on the investment. Because let's say if you're spending close to 100 crores on the one pager Times of India article, then that 100 crore investment that you make, you want to ensure that over a period of 2-3 years or over a period of 5 years, I'm able to recover that investment. Or over time, the volumes of sales will increase. There has to be some benefits. And due to that first page advertisement that you've shown, let's say a lot of people end up knowing about Amazon. A lot of people, a lot of first time users start uh, downloading the application. They start landing up on the app homepage, second step, because they came across your advertisement. Let's say on a Diwali first page of Times of India ad you show, Amazon Great Indian Shopping Festival. People are excited. A lot of first time users you're winning, and they open up the app for the first time. You get, let's say as an example, you get 10 million unique users who sign up on the app, and then they view the product, then they add it to the cart, then they check out and payment, then they order, then they deliver. Straightforward. This is the marketing funnel. This is what you're trying to convert. So out of every 100 people who see your advertisement, you want to make sure that the maximum number of people actually click on the ad, they land on the ad, they land on the application homepage, they download the application. Out of 100 people who see your advertisement, 50 people are actually opening the application. 30 people are actually checking out the products. 20 are adding it to the cart. 15 are checking out and doing the payment, out of which 10 of them cancel the order and they do a refund, and out of which finally 5 are getting delivered. You can already see the funnel effect right now. Out of originally 100 people who downloaded the application, I thought all those people will buy from me, but eventually a very small percentage eventually ends up buying from me. And this is a wonderful use case where analytics and machine learning and AI, predictive analytics, predictive analytics can be used to identify the probability with which customers will come. And if I know that what is the probability with which customers will convert, if I understand that, then I can go back and I can I can predict better. I'll give an example to you. There are many cases where we just go to Amazon and we randomly just add the products to the cart. Another great application of analytics in the world of retail would be, how do you ensure that people are actually checking out from the cart? So let's say out of 20 customers who have just added items to the cart, how do you increase the conversion rate? How do you make sure that these customers are actually checking out from the cart also? That's also a very important problem, and which is why you might have seen that sometimes you run promotion campaigns, sometimes you run advertisement campaigns, that you go to Amazon and you add something to the cart, and then later you come out of the page. You come out of the page, and what happens is after a few days, Amazon starts sending reminders to you, and even they will try to say that, hey, you know what, you forgot to check out from the cart. You have this particular item lying on the cart. and there's a discount of 70% we are offering, and you club this other item and we give you 90% discount if you check out in the next 2 hours. So they're trying to entice you to check out, because checkout is a very important problem. You have to understand, if you don't check out, if you're simply wasting time on the application, just browsing through products and looking at the prices, reading the reviews, it's a waste of time for the e-commerce company. The e-commerce company ultimately wants you to make a purchase. That is the metric that they are tracking. Simply customers signing onto the platform is one metric. That is the part where you can say, hey, you know what? That entire investment I made on that front page of Times of India advertisement, that was, due to that I got 10 million unique users. Those 10 million unique users, are they actually buying something? I don't want users just for the heck of it. I want users who will eventually buy products on my platform. I do not want idle users. I don't want inactive users, because inactive users are a cost for the business. They are like window shoppers. Hai na? Like you are a window shopper, you go to a big bazaar one fine day, and you just go there to waste time on the sales people. You will buy ultimately वो mobile आपको online से ही खरीदना है ना? You will ultimately buy the phone online. But what you do, you go to the physical store and you ask the salesperson, भैया ये बताइए इसका कैमरा कैसा है, इसका स्क्रीन साइज कैसा है, what is the camera quality here, कितना मेगापिक्सल है, क्या है, कैसा है, half an hour you spend time, you waste time of the salesperson and you leave. So yes, you're a unique user. आपने store visit किया, you're a unique user, visit the store. But did it actually help? It didn't help. So this is something we do not want. So it's an extremely important problem in retail to ensure that we are trying to uh, we are basically trying to ensure that we are how we are trying to predict the customers who are likely to convert, and the customers who are likely to convert, how do we maximize the efficiencies there, and how do we target those customers better. So that's the personalization is a very, very important problem in retail. Okay, so sales marketing is one aspect I wanted to talk about. Another very important avenue where uh, analytics is getting used in retail is the selection part. The selection part is where we try to figure out what products to sell, what sellers to onboard, and a lot of analytics actually happens there. A competitor analysis, SWOT analysis happens where we try to figure out what pricing to also set. This is an extremely important problem. In fact, in many retail companies, including Walmart, pricing is a separate function, and it is extremely important to ensure that we are able to decide the right kind of pricing. Because if your pricing is not right, if you price your products too high, people will not buy because your products are very expensive. On the contrary, if your pricing is very low, then too much of sales will happen and you will end up making losses. E-commerce is already in losses and you will end up making even more losses. That's the problem. Uh, so you want to set the right pricing. You want to set up the pricing in a manner where you are effectively setting the price neither too high so that nobody buys, and at the same time you're not setting your prices so low that everybody is purchasing at very high discounts. It's like selling Apple phones at 90% offer. I'm sure everybody in this audience will buy Apple phones if I give it to you for 90% off. But is it worth it? And I'm buying the Apple phones at such a high cost and giving it to you for 90% off. You guys are very happy, but I ended up making a huge loss, right? But companies do that at times. In the growth phase of a company, retail companies, like if you look at many of the Indian startups, like you've all heard of cases like Swiggy, Zomato giving very deep discounts. And how do they sustain? They're all loss making. They're not profitable. They're all loss making. How is Swiggy able to give so much deep discounts, right? You think Swiggy is making a profit? No, they're just giving the discount. It's all investor money. They're able to sustain the operations through investor money, but it's not profitable, right? You're basically paying the restaurant the same amount of money, and you have a lot of platform fees you're collecting, but ultimately you're still selling to the customers at a dirt cheap price. Imagine getting the food item for 80 rupee momo you're getting. Or 60% off up to 120 is almost always applied by you. So you're effectively selling a momo for 120 rupees. And overall, if you see, that's a loss for the company. So then you might question that, sir, in retail also, then why does Flipkart, Amazon continue giving deep discounts? Well, winning customers, winning customers, I would say. So you're trying to win the volume. You're trying to make sure more people order. And that way you're trying to ensure that if many, many people order, even if I sell at the same dirt cheap price, even if I sell in the same dirt cheap price, because so many people are buying, I still end up making profits. I think a great use case I can give you is in the context of Reliance Geo. Telecom is a wonderful use case of that, and I think it will take some time for retail to get there. It's getting there. I think the discounts have started reducing. Uh, but once an industry matures, like what you saw for telecom, I'm sure you all of you remember the early days of Reliance Geo, no? Even I took a Geo SIM like long, long back. I remember those days when Geo was giving very deep discounts, right? Extremely, everything was free that time. And that time we could do normal prepaid recharges for like what? Huh? 1 2 rupee. I think companies used to give you credit to do a recharge. And if you completed your talk time, if talk time got over, then you could basically get additional talk time without even paying for it. 10 rupee, 20 rupee minimum recharges we had. Today, the minimum top up that you require to even keep your connection active, forget about making calls, is 155 rupees minimum. Airtel ka 155 rupees hai, 28 days validity. Your service will empty stop. Outgoing, incoming, everything will stop. Whereas before we could keep maintaining our SIM cards forever. Any SIM cards you took at that time, they will run forever. No service validity concept was there, right? So telecom is a great use case where initially they started offering massive discounts to win customers. And once they were able to do that, company like Geo, once they won the customers, the freebies went away. Even if you look at Geo Fiber, a lot of free trials were offered, but today they have reduced it comes considerably. There are lots of terms and conditions they have, right? So if you surrender your device, they will not give you the money as it, because they have enough volumes today. And now if you increase the prices at those volumes, you're making huge profits. So I hope that answers the question, Ardhan. Okay, why startups are still running? Investor money is funding, because investors are also sold on that promise. Companies are telling investors that hey, we will not run profits immediately. We will only gain customers. We will only take more and more customers. And to gain more and more customers, we will offer our products and services at a very cheap price, so that more and more people come to our platform. And once we have a base of 300, 400 million users like Geo, now they can say, hey, you know what? Even a 10 rupee increase in tariff there, if you look at the numbers right now, 40 million subscriber base, even if you look at an average 10 rupee increase, we're talking about a 400 million, 400 million rupee straightforward increase in thing. You can just imagine, even a 1 rupee increase in tariff, once you have a customer base of 400 million, that we're talking about a 400 million rupee increase in just by increasing the tariff by 1 rupee. So that is how actually a lot of organizations look at it. Okay, but pricing is a very interesting machine learning problem. More specifically, when we talk about machine learning, there are two types of problems that we are solving typically. One is called regression, one is called classification. I'm getting a little technical. Regression is that kind of machine learning problem where you're trying to predict a number, right? So what are the terms I'm using for everybody's benefit? So one is called regression. I've just pinged on the chat here. So one is a regression kind of a problem, and one is a classification kind of a problem. Okay. So regression is that kind of problem where we are trying to predict some kind of a numerical value. So a good use case is sales prediction, exactly like as Aradhan rightly puts it. You're looking at a perfect case like a company like Walmart, where we are looking at the historical sales data of Walmart, and based on that, we are trying to predict how much sales will happen next year or next quarter or next month. So on the basis of the historical sales data, we are trying to predict how much sales will happen next year, next quarter, and so on and so forth. That is how we look at a regression problem. We are trying to predict the numeric output in regression. So the output that we are trying to predict is a number. So regression is where we are trying to predict a kind of a numeric output. That is what we are inherently trying to do in a regression problem. A numeric output is what you are trying to predict. Other use cases could be weather forecasting, stock market prediction, other domains if you see regression, where you're trying to predict a number. Even in the world of sports, if I have to take some interesting cases for you, we have Dream 11. Dream 11 is the company where you can kind of pick up your favorite team. I'm sure some of you would have participated in Dream 11, a fantasy sports platform kind of thing, where you can effectively bet on your favorite players. So you look at the historical attributes of the players, and based on the historical attributes of the players, you try to predict how much runs the player will score next match, how many sixes the player will score in the next match, and so on and so forth. And these are some very interesting applications of what we are doing in a in a typical regression kind of a problem. So we're looking at the different attributes of the player, and based on the different attributes of the player, we are trying to predict how much runs will be scored and things like that. Okay, I hope this is all of you getting a sense of this. What we are inherently trying to do in the regression context. Now, coming to the idea of classification, we can say so. Coming to the context of classification, what we can say is classification is applicable in a scenario where we can say that we are trying to predict something which is a kind of a category, right? So how do we look at classification? So we look at classification in a context where we are trying to kind of mostly we look at classification in the context where we have categorical data. Okay, so classification we look at in a context where we mostly have categorical data. We are trying to make some kind of a categorical prediction. So that is how we look at the intuition of what we are trying to do in classification. Okay, so I hope this is absolutely clear. So regression is more like where we are trying to predict uh, a numeric output, whereas in classification we are trying to predict something which is more of a categorical output. So that's how we look at the whole thing. That's how we look at what is regression, vis-a-vis what is classification. Okay, now with this in mind, some examples of classification. I'll come to a lot of use cases with respect to Walmart also. I'll come to some specific use cases with respect to Walmart as well. But before I get to that, let us also understand some general concepts with respect to how we can think through regression and how we can think through classification in this context. So regression, what could be some other examples of regression in other domains? Let's say in the finance domain, a great example of regression could be we are looking at the different attributes of the uh, we are looking at the different attributes of the customer, and based on that we are trying to predict how much of credit limit we should be given to the customer. That's also a great application of regression in the fintech finance domain. Some other domains we can also explore. uh, I'm sure many of you would have got messages like you go back and we let's say using a credit card for some time, or you apply for a credit card, and during the application process the bank sends a message out to you saying that we want to predict. The bank sends a message saying that, hey, the eligible credit limit that you have is equal to so and so. So what is the eligible credit limit that you have? The eligible credit limit that you have is equal to so and so. Okay, so we look at the different attributes of the customer, and we try to figure out what is the eligible credit limit for the customer. So the eligible credit limit for the customer will be equal to so and so. So that's the way we go back and think through the regression problem. Okay, so we are trying to predict a numerical value. And oftentimes, when you're using the credit card for a certain duration, the banks will often revise your credit limit. They will say, okay, you are eligible for an increased credit limit. Your credit limit has increased to 12. So they're trying to predict your credit limit. They're trying to predict the civil is trying to calculate your credit score. These are all excellent applications where the regression is used. And another great application that I would like to talk about in the insurance space. Insurance space is another wonderful area where we are using regression quite a lot. Uh, Imagine a scenario where you're trying to take a health insurance. So how do you go about the process of a health insurance? What happens is uh, so the process of a health insurance is typically where you go and fill up a document, you contact an insurance company, and we look at the different attributes of the insurance policy. We look at the different attributes of the person. You enter your different attributes like your age, your dependents, where you're from, your city, and everything, your past illnesses, and all that you enter. And based on that, the model tries to predict. The model basically tries to predict how much of premiums you have to pay. So this is like the part where you're buying a policy. We look at the different attributes of the policy, and based on that, we try to estimate how much of premiums you have to basically pay. Okay, so nowadays, if you look at it in the current context, healthcare, if you see, is very static. The insurance space is completely static. If I ask you to calculate premiums, it is very static. But premium prediction can be a dynamic thing. We can look at the different attributes of the person, and we can predict how much of premiums you will pay. Okay, so that could be another great application of a regression problem. Classification problems are many. Classification problems, the usual classification problems are, as rightly put, loan payment, credit card default. We look at the different attributes of the person and we try to predict whether the person will default on a card, whether the person will default on a loan. Yes, no. Loan, yes, no. Any kind of yes, no answer, any kind of categorical prediction is how we think through classification. Classification models are also increasingly used in the context of healthcare, where we look at the different attributes of the person. Okay, we look at the different attributes of the person, and based on the different attributes of the person, we try to predict whether the person is suffering from a particular disease or not. So diagnostics is one avenue where we see a lot of classification models actually getting used. Okay, so I repeat, diagnostics is one avenue where, as I said, a lot of classification models are actually kind of getting used in this context. Okay, so a lot of classification models are used in the diagnostic context actually. Okay. Weather predictions, what the weather will be, is also a great application of classification. Okay. And finally, we can also look at classification models very, very actively used in the context of retail, which we see. Disease detection, exactly. Also another good use case. All right. Now we'll come to that. As I said, now that we understood regression versus classification, two very common types of machine learning problems. Um, Pricing prediction is more of a regression problem because you're trying to predict the price of a product. So specifically, what are we trying to do here? We are specifically trying to predict the price of the product. We're looking at the different attributes of the product, and we're trying to predict at what price we should go back and sell the product. So that's more of an example of a regression problem. The second other kind of problem that we do is the supply chain part, where we try to figure out where the warehouses will be based and where the warehouses should be kept. This is an extremely important problem, especially for the hyper local delivery startups. If you look at Zepto, Swiggy, Zomato, they are solving some very important problems in this particular space because imagine a company like Swiggy Instamart. When you order something on Swiggy Instamart, Swiggy promises and Blinkit promises something like 8 minutes to 9 minutes delivery. And you know how they're able to do it because they're able to optimize the location of their warehouses. Okay, so next time you order something, don't think that Zepto is actually procuring something from the store and getting it to you. They're connecting you to the nearest warehouse, and they're estimating how much time the person will take to sort through the items in the warehouse, and they're able to deliver it back to you. Dark store concept, very likely put, excellent. That's the way we can think through what the hub and spoke model actually is. Even Amazon, for that matter, next time you order something in Amazon, how is Amazon able to commit to 1 day delivery, and how are they able to estimate the delivery times so accurately? Running a business at that scale, you're ordering some product from somewhere in the country, and how is Amazon able to predict with a reasonable amount of accuracy when that product will reach you? And look at Swiggy. How is Swiggy able to predict the amount of time the food will take to reach you? It's an extremely complex regression problem that they're trying to solve. Estimated time of arrival. They're trying to predict a number. So right from the time that you order your food, Swiggy is trying to predict how much time that food will take to reach you. Very interesting. So the multiple components are getting involved. One is, how busy usually that restaurant is around that time. How much time the restaurant will take to prepare the food. How much time the delivery person will take to reach the restaurant, collect the food, go down, find parking. How much time that person will take to reach your destination and then deliver the food finally to you. So there are multiple stages involved in this. It's not just a simple numerical prediction that you're doing, but to predict how much time it takes to deliver the food, there are multiple small problems that you're solving together. It's an extremely important, interesting use case. And this was pioneered by a company called Uber Eats. Uber Eats is not in India anymore, but Uber Eats is very popular outside, of course. Uh, but yes, Uber Eats kind of pioneered this idea. Uber had this very, very popular model, and that was based on Uber's machine learning platform called Michelangelo. Okay, you can actually read about it. So Uber's machine learning platform is called Michelangelo. Okay, so there they had this estimated time of delivery model to deliver food. Okay, so one very important thing I would like to clarify, that whatever ideas we are talking about in retail, although today's session is on retail, but uh, whatever ideas we typically come across in retail, like supply chain pricing, the ideas are very similar across other industries. Like if you, like as I said, in supply chain, food delivery startups, if you see the concept of hub and spoke model, warehouses is very, very important in those kinds of startup scenarios as well, right? Customer experience, CX stands for customer experience. Customer support is actually growing in phenomenal pace today. If you look at the the rise of language models today. I'm sure everybody is kind of blown away by chat gpt and large language models. We are all hearing these terms. At alma better, we have conducted a lot of master classes on those topics also. I'm sure you have come across some of those sessions as well. But yes, I think we are seeing a tremendous amount of analytics and machine learning and prediction happening in the world of customer support. Well, I can tell you from my experience, at Walmart, these kinds of things are actually already deployed. Where next time you talk to a customer, and this is not just a simple bland chatbot. Like, see, there are two ways of looking at it. One is like an absolute bland chatbot which does nothing. You just type a query, it's an automated answer you get. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a useless chat. There are mushrooming tens of thousands of virtual assistants out there where you type a particular question and the virtual assistant answers something based on what is already saved. Okay, so if I have to give an example to you, if I have to give a specific example to all of you in this context, a good example of a virtual assistant which I'm talking about here is Ask iPad. I've opened up the ICICI Bank website right now. And if you click on Ask iPal, I can ask it certain questions. This is something that you will see in many banking applications nowadays, where there's some virtual assistants that you have. And you can ask me something. You can ask some questions, and you can, let's say, ask a question like, what is the best credit card? What is the best credit card? And you can see the answer. Do you mean any of the following? See, it's not able to figure out. I very clearly asked the question, what is the best credit card? And this is like a very basic, very elementary virtual assistant. You see tons of like this mushrooming around. Or something like Swiggy, when you say, hey, my order is not yet delivered, Swiggy will send an automated response to you that, okay, your order is on its way, ETA is so and so time, and you call up your delivery agent like this. So these are not truly intelligent agents. They're not truly able to understand the context and semantics of what I'm saying. They're just following a very rule-based mechanism. So these are examples of rule-based AI agents where you ask a particular question and the answer is completely determined using static hard-coded rules. Exactly. It's a completely static system that we've actually built here. You already have a series or database of question answers that are set. When the question is asked like this, the answer is given like this. When the question is asked like this, the answer is given like this. So you have a series of different question answer scenarios. And next time you ask a particular question, the model answers it in this particular manner. So this is how the whole thing is kind of working out. Okay, all of you can see. That's the context. Now the idea is, what if I go and ask it to ChatGPT? You want to see that? Well, this is exactly what I was talking about, right? I'll go and ask ChatGPT the same question. I'll basically ask ChatGPT, hey, what is the you have to actually frame your prompt in a very good way, right? So the idea of ChatGPT is like absolutely cutting edge chatbot. Everybody has come across it. Everybody has heard of it. This is a hype that we're talking about, and we have to frame the prompt in a correct way. If I ask the same question to ChatGPT, it will give me a perfect answer, and I can frame the prompt in a correct way. I can frame the question in a very good way. I can ask ChatGPT that, hey, imagine exactly, imagine you are a uh, uh, customer support, a credit card specialist, credit card specialist working in ICICI Bank in India. How will you exactly role playing kind of thing where you try to like say that, hey, you're a customer support specialist, and imagine that you're the customer support specialist and you have to you have to recommend a super the most premium credit card to me. How will you suggest? Okay, something of this sort. Let's say if I just ask it even randomly, it'll actually tell me what are the most premium credit cards. I think it's absolutely right. The most premium credit card that ICICI Bank offers is Emerald credit card, and you can see the bank was not able to give it. ICICI Bank, if I, okay, you might ask me that, sir, you didn't ask the right question. Okay, let me just go and type the same question to the bank website also. I think it will probably crash. For a lighter note, it will probably crash. If I ask the same question, okay, maybe it's not even able to figure out. Here are some suggestions. She's not even able to figure out what I'm asking, right? I'm clearly asking that, hey, you recommend the most premium credit card to me. But it's saying, what is credit card experience, benefits and offers in ICICI bank cards, what type of credit cards are offered? This is not what I'm asking, right? I can click on it, I'll get a templated answer, and then it directs you to the website saying, okay, these are the top credit cards issued by the bank. That's not what I'm asking, right? I'm asking, tell me the answer here itself. So this is the avenue where customer support can be improved. This is probably an example of a horrible customer support experience, useless. They just put this chatbot for the heck of it. It doesn't serve any purpose, waste of time completely. And many virtual assistants that we see nowadays, uh, right? Many virtual assistants we see nowadays are like this. You just put it up there for the heck of it. But if you look at something like a chat GPT, you ask it in whatever manner or form you want, and it will solve the problem. Okay, and imagine that if you are kind of a customer and you look at something like Amazon chat, like what happens when you buy a product and the product is not as per your expectations. What do you do, guys? You go to Amazon, you contact customer care, you start the customer care chat. Somebody actually manually talks to you, or Uber. A lot of businesses are going to the complete virtual form nowadays. That is one more major shift that is happening, especially in the startup ecosystem. If you look at companies like Cred, companies like Practo, companies like uh, you know uh, this one, your many companies, Uber also doesn't have any customer support phone number. They're completely chat based, app based support, and the whole idea is completely based on natural language processing, NLP, right? NLP is what we are looking at right now, right? So the idea is that you send us an email, or you initiate the communication through us in chat. You send us an email, initiate the communication through us in chat. We will look at what email you sent. We will look at what kind of queries you have. We will identify the aspects of the query. We will do a whole lot of things around that. We will do a whole lot of things around that, like, we will look at sentiment analysis. We will understand the sentiment of your query. We will understand what type of keywords you have used. We will do something called topic modeling. We will identify what are the key topics in that query, and based on that, we will draft a response to you. Based on that, we'll prioritize your query. You don't have to call us up on a mobile number saying that, hey, and this is how we are seeing a lot of organizations completely revolutionizing customers. And as I said, with ChatGPT, companies are increasingly looking to integrate ChatGPT in their application. And ChatGPT is also coming up with plugins, right? Okay. Yes, yes. So CX is a wonderful use case, right? So handling returns, refund. This is one avenue where we see a lot of use cases of NLP, particularly where a customer reaches out to you after they buy the product and they're not happy, they're talking to you, and you have to resolve the customer queries. How do you handle escalation? See, basic queries, you can create a rule-based engine. You can create a database of question answers. You say question answer. Customer asks some question, you get the answer, just like ICICI Bank. But what if I want to build an agent that understands something a bit more subtle, something which requires some context, which requires some semantics? These are the aspects where advanced bots need to be employed, and we are seeing a lot of that happening. And finally, as I said, funnel maintenance, we talked about, and monetization of ads, we talked about ROI. A lot of machine learning is used there to identify who my target audience will be. You look at the different features of the audience and try to predict, will this person convert or not. It's a classification problem. It's ultimately a classification problem. You're trying to predict, will the person convert, and we will only show ads to people who are likely to convert. Next time you go to like a Facebook or Google, uh, exactly, leads. We will only want to show advertisements to kind of leads, potential leads who are likely to convert. Hot leads. In the world of sales and marketing, we call them hot leads. Leads which have a very high probability of conversion are called hot leads. NLP. NLG is what we call it. We don't call it NLP generation, we call it NLG. NLG stands for natural language generation, and NLU stands for natural language understanding. These are two other subfields of NLP. One is called NLU. You're trying to understand the natural language and natural language understanding. And NLG stands for natural language generation. Okay, and all of this is basically revolving around human language. So the ability of machines to process and understand and interpret human languages is what we call NLP, natural language processing. Okay. All right. With this in mind, let's get into some of the really cool use cases of how this is actually happening and this is actually working out. Exactly. Human computer interaction. Uh, how is it working? So one very yes. So one very important application that we have here is personalization. Personalization is a is an aspect where we are trying to show the products as per the way you browse the website and as per your browsing patterns and everything. That is what we refer to as personalization. If I open up the Amazon page, I can clearly see that Amazon only shows me things that Amazon is only showing me things that I am actually browsing. You can see right now. If I go to the Amazon business section, this is my section. Amazon shows me top discount, summary, total spend, average. Okay, we can clearly see that. Buy it again, TV, top discounts. These are some things I was seeing a while back, like router, UPS, and all that. Amazon clearly understands from the types of items I've purchased, and it basically very interesting. It tries to create a list for me. It tries to personalize that list for me. There's a huge amount of prediction that is involved here. And you can imagine we are talking about like thousands of products, tens of thousands of products in the retail store. uh, you don't expect the user to kind of click on each and every category and figure out what they want. A huge part of analytics and machine learning is used to identify what the user is willing to purchase. You're kind of trying to get right into the psychology of the user, and you're trying to figure out what is the user actually trying to buy, or what is the user actually willing to buy, and you're trying to tailor the sales accordingly. So this is a huge part of what we are trying to do in analytics basically. So uh, and if you can do it right, oftentimes as a user you will yourself know that you want it. I think that's the next level of retail that we are trying to get into, right? So companies like Amazon and all this, they are getting to the next level. Walmart, we're getting to the next level where we're trying to identify what you might buy. Usually it was more like the users go to the app, they add the items to the cart, and we try to give them discounts to make them convert, make them check out. Checkout is what actually registers as a sale. But the next level of analytics is where the companies are trying to guess what you might buy, what kind of products you will actually purchase, so that we can give you more targeted offers and more targeted discounts on those products. So how can we identify that which are those products you will actually purchase? And Amazon is actually telling me, it's building a list for me. Even Big Basket, if I can show you, a lot of companies are in this space right now. Even if I kind of show you a company called Big Basket, Big Basket also creates something called a My List. It tries to create that cart for you. It tries to generate that cart for you. It looks at your historical data and it tries to generate that cart for you. Okay. You can see what you need today. Hello, what you need today. Look at this, all of you. See Big Basket. I've opened a Big Basket right now, and Big Basket has given me. Is it visible? It's visible. So Big Basket has given me a list what you need today. You can see right now. So I usually order this soybean oil quite a lot, and Big Basket thinks that okay, it's been quite a while that I've purchased soybean oil and mustard oil, and Big Basket is basically trying to create that my list for me. So you can go to this section, and right up in this section you will see something called my list. And this is again a very interesting application we are seeing. And of course, right since the time Tata has acquired Big Basket, we're seeing a lot of analytics getting incorporated in the platform. It's a Tata company today. Big Basket and Tata is the same brand today, as a Tata company today. And it's trying to predict, it's actually trying to figure out what you might want to buy. Exactly. It looks at the time of the day, the weather conditions, and that's how it's trying to recommend product to you. So whole lot, and that also works out particularly well in the context of Swiggy and Zomato kind of companies, because in Swiggy and Zomato kind of companies, that's happening in a big way. How do we look at the different attributes of the day and all that, and how do we predict uh, what the customer might want to order, what type of food items you might want to buy, and things like that. Okay, so the recommendation, the personalization is a very important aspect that I wanted to talk about. I hope people are able to follow this one. So, and this happens across, and so what I'm getting into is that it's not just that this is e-commerce, so personalization only, but across the, you look at something like a Big Basket, you look at something like a Swiggy. Swiggy also, the homepage of Swiggy is personalization. Look at Facebook friends, social media, Instagram. So your social media, Facebook news feed will be very different compared to your friend's news feed. Okay, so your news feed will be very different from your friend's news feed. Okay, so that is also a great application of personalization. Okay, so how do we ensure that, okay, so how was it able to figure it out? That's also a good application of personalization. And finally, recommendation. Okay, so when you buy something, Amazon will recommend similar products for you. Okay, so Amazon will recommend that, hey, if you buy this, you might also like. That's also an extremely interesting application of machine learning in the world of e-commerce, because e-commerce thrives on this. They're trying to, one part, they're trying to figure out what you will buy, predicting. And the second part is they're trying to figure out, hey, you bought this, you know what, in the past you bought this, so you might also like this. Even better, I was searching for this, I was searching for this router UPS device I showed you. And Amazon was saying that, hey, Sayan, you want to buy this? Okay, that's great. You know what? People who buy this, they also frequently buy this also. Okay, it's great that you want to buy the right router UPS, but you want to buy this, you also typically buy this as well. And this is a router UPS, and I find this very handy. I also personally use it for my classes because like the internet goes down, I get backup for like 3 4 hours. Pretty cool actually. So, but then Amazon is giving me a recommendation, right? I did not even know that there is some 2 year warranty for small household appliance that exists, but uh, Amazon is giving me the recommendation saying that, hey, fine, you want to buy this router UPS? Okay, that's great. So people who buy this usually also buy this. These two items are typically clubbed together based on the historical data that we have seen. So out of the last 100 transactions, we are seeing that, okay, uh, 40 of the transactions, these two have been purchased together. Extremely high probability, 40 by 100, 0.4%, 40% probability. So, okay, Amazon recommends that to me. And it straight away gives me an option to add both to the cart. This is not the only kind of recommendation. Amazon has other kinds of recommendation also. If I count down, they say related products, and they also show you similar items, compare with similar items. Amazon will give you comparison with similar items. This is called content-based filtering. Technically, we call it content-based filtering. We look at the features of the product and we compare with similar items. So we have a Resonate router UPS, we have a Zinc mini UPS, and we also have an Ambrain mini UPS. There are many different brands Amazon will recommend for you, and the product-wise features will be given to you. So this is recommendation based on content, recommendation based on the features of the product. This was recommendation purely based on the frequency, how the products are purchased. And finally, we also have recommendation based on how other users buy. Okay, so products related to the item, and customers who bought this also bought this. So multiple different types of recommendations are there. So recommendation, the whole avenue of recommendation system is an excellent application of, I would say, machine learning. So machine learning is used in a big way in the world of recommendations. And this is not only for Amazon. If you go all the way to companies like 1mg, 1mg is also a Tata company today. Okay, so if I just go and quickly look up something called 1mg, and I'm looking up a tablet called Limsy. This is the Limsy chewable tablet that I'm looking up right now. And all of you can see that Amazon is actually recommending to me that customers who buy Limsy also buy Zandu aloe vera juice. That customers who actually buy that particular Limsy tablet, they also buy, this particular uh, Zandu aloe vera juice. So these two items are frequency bought together. This is just like that Resonate router and that assistance plan are going together. So here also we're looking at the past transactional data, and we're able to figure out that hey, customers who buy this, they also buy this. This is another thing that we are able to figure out. Okay, so these are some very interesting applications of recommendations that we are able to see. Wanted to just show you a couple of other examples here. All right, now moving on. Moving on, there are a few other applications where recommendation is coming in handy here. One is obviously the market basket analysis or association rule mining that you're seeing here. Technically, what you're seeing, this is actually a great example of what we refer to as market basket analysis. Okay, where you're able to see the historical patterns in how certain types of products were purchased before, And based on that, you are able to see that people who buy the Lindsay tablet also buy the Zandu aloe vera juice. So we are able to do association rule mining, or what we refer to as market basket analysis. So this is a good classic example of what we refer to as market basket analysis or association rule mining, where we can see that people who buy this item, they also buy this other item. So again, market basket analysis we are able to see. Okay, and this particular concept was pioneered in Walmart. Actually, just wanted to show you the use case also. Walmart actually pioneered this particular idea, and just to show you, this was a very famous example where Walmart actually made a discovery that people who buy beer also buy diaper. This was more of the discovery that Walmart made. Very interesting. This is an article by Forbes, 1998, almost more than 20 years back, and Walmart found that based on the historical data that was purchased, they actually found that people who buy beer, they also apparently buy diaper. That was the analysis that Walmart actually did. They were able to find that. So people who buy beer also buy diapers. And again, there's supposedly no correlation between these items, but we were still able to find. Yeah, so there was apparently no correlation that okay, people who buy beer and diaper. Is there any correlation that we have? Is there absolutely anything that we can use to say that okay, people who buy beer also buy diaper? I mean, beer and diaper are supposedly completely unrelated entities we are talking about, but Walmart was still able to figure out the relationship between beer and diet. So Walmart say that okay, people who buy beer, they also apparently also buy diapers. That was the investigation that we were able to do. Okay, and they did a few other case studies as well. If I just have to show you, Walmart actually also found a very interesting relationship between hurricanes and strawberry pop tarts. I wanted to show you this example also. Very interesting. And Walmart found that typically kind of when hurricanes are about to strike, the sales of strawberry pop tarts also increase. That was another analysis that we were able to do. Okay, so more the uh, occurrence of hurricanes, more the sales of strawberry pop tarts. Another very interesting application of market basket analysis. And this is the same technology that is used uh, by organizations to figure out what type of products they will put on their shelf. Next time you have a company that's trying to figure out that, hey, should I place this particular product on our shelf and all that? This is the kind of stuff that is actually used, right? So how do you figure out that hey, this particular brand of soap and this particular brand of shampoo should be placed together? Okay, so you place, let's say, a Dabur shampoo with a with a Head and Shoulders conditioner, and you typically see a very interesting pattern that people typically tend to buy these kinds of products together. Then you will place those related items in the shelf together and maybe give a combo 30% offer on the basis of that. So this is how we do market basket analysis. This is how we do association rule mining. Okay, but this is one kind of uh, recommendation that we do. Another kind of recommendation is we look at content-based filtering. Content-based filtering is where you are trying to buy something, and we recommend other similar items for you. So in this case, I was searching for Limc vitamin C tablet, and Limc is very similar to Cilin. Cilin is also serves the same purpose. So we simply look at the composition, and based on the composition, we are trying to recommend other similar items to you. In fact, there's Farm Easy. Farm Easy is a Reliance company, and Farm Easy, what they do is they let's say you buy some medications, and oftentimes doctors will prescribe some medication, so you buy that medicine, and then what happens is Farm Easy will often, and when you try to check out, Farm Easy will often give you a recommendation saying that okay, there are some generic medicines also available. Would you like to check that out? Okay, so some generic medicines are also available. So would you like to check that out? So pharmacy will give you those kinds of medicine recommendations also, just to clarify. Okay, so you're buying a very, very expensive brand for 200 rupee tablet, and pharmacy will give a recommendation that, hey, the composition of this and the composition of this are very similar. The contents are matching. So you're buying this, I understand, but would you also like to try this generic medicine, which is costing only 40 rupees? Generic brand is also available. So Limsy right now is costing, let's say, 21 rupee, but then here obviously is more expensive, but it will probably also recommend that, hey, you know what? We have a ceiling chewable tablet that's also available for 31 rupees, content-based recommendation. Okay. And then we have got something called collaborative filtering. That is the other kind of recommendation where you are going back to the customer level data and you're saying that, hey, customers who bought this also bought this. And here you are able to look at the customer level information also. Until now, we were only looking at the product level information. Okay, but now we are also looking at the customer level information. And customers who bought this item, they exhibit certain types of patterns. They bought this, so you might also like this. So they're trying to somehow looking trying to understand the customer behavior. The people who bought this kind of an item, they may also like to buy this other kind of an item. So these are some excellent applications of how we think through recommendation system in the world of e-commerce. In fact, a lot of e-commerce, all these Amazon, all these portals that we are talking about, they use multiple different types of recommendation models. One is the market baskets or the association rule mining based model. One is the content based filtering based model. One is the collaborative filtering based model, where we are looking at the customer information and we are kind of combining all these different types of models together, and we're basically having a hybrid model. So we're seeing a lot of that in action. I was talking a little bit about customer experience and customer support and reviews a while back, and you can see very interesting. Amazon already deploys these kind of things in their platform, where based on the customer reviews, Amazon does topic modeling. We call it topic modeling, where we are able to extract the most important topics out of the data. So what kind of topics people are talking about? So people are talking about frequent power, battery life, battery backup, warranty period. And if you click on these things, this is completely extracted using machine learning. Not that somebody is manually reading the reviews. It's not possible. Like there are like tens of thousands of reviews that are out there. Not possible to manually go through every review and figure it out. So machine learning is used to go through all the reviews and figure out the reviews that mention, let's say, stopped working. So it's a negative review. So what stopped working? You want to figure it out. Something of that sort, right? All right. So very interesting how NLP is leveraged in the real world today as we speak, right? All right, wonderful. Now, I think enough of recommendations. So let's move on. Pricing, we already talked about. Pricing is an extremely important problem, not only in Amazon, Walmart, but any industry for that matter. Uh, Even if you talk about the airline space, the hospitality industry, hotel booking applications, look at companies like Agoda and all. Agoda, in fact, goes up to the level of saying that, hey, if our pricing, if any other website offers a lower price than us, we will give you 2 times the money back. So we even see applications like that where companies are saying that uh, even if some website offers, let's say, a lower pricing compared to what we are offering, we'll give you 2 times the money back. Even that kind of thing is there. So pricing is an extremely important problem. Next time you're booking a flight in Indigo, friends, remember that price prediction that is done is completely based on machine learning. We're trying to predict what the price of the ticket will be. If you set the ticket price is too high, nobody will book. If you set the price is too low, then you're going in losses. So Indigo is a profitable company for a reason. They're able to do the analytics very well, actually. That way. Search is another great space. You search for something, and the most relevant results will come out. And these are, again, as we talked about, some of the general applications of machine learning used in the world of e-commerce. We talked about collaborative filtering, which was an application of recommendation system. NLP, natural language processing, is where customer reviews, customer feedback, customer interactions, how are we able to tailor the responses better for the customer? And we saw how we can use applications like ChatGPT to tailor our responses better. Image recognition, I'll come to a couple of use cases in the context of Walmart. One great use case I can give you in image recognition is this. How Walmart uses AI-powered cameras to prevent theft at checkout lanes. This is a very interesting problem. This came up in 2019, and uh, and we are able to see how Walmart and retail stores generally are using AI cameras to prevent theft. So checkout lane theft is more like a situation where you're buying something and you come to the checkout lanes and you are, let's say, you're kind of picking up some items from the checkout lanes directly. So how do we prevent that theft? How do we identify that, hey, the customer actually stole something probably? So this is again a very interesting application of how we're looking at AI is being deployed here overall. Okay, so you look at the different attributes of the customer, you look at it, and based on that, you try to predict. In fact, Amazon Go stores are completely automated stores in the US. I'm sure all of you have heard of it. Amazon Go retail stores that we have. And in those retail stores, everything is automated. It's completely self-checkout. And especially in the self-checkout context, Walmart is doing a lot of things because sometimes there can be errors that can happen. The scanning may not take place correctly. Customers can try to fool the system into believing that they actually scanned something. And over the past few years, Walmart has actually leveraged a lot of technologies in checkout, uh, self checkout detection, scan detection kind of systems where computer vision is used to identify that whatever products you're taking, is that product correctly getting scanned and is able to do those kinds of things very, very effectively. In fact, I'll give you another and in fact, AI powered cameras, this is the same technology that is used even in surveillance security generally. If you look at airports, metro stations, cities generally, city surveillance, where police is involved, these are all classic applications where machine learning is getting used a lot today, where facial recognition and activity detection kind of models are used, threat detection kind of models are used, where we can, let's say, if there is an unclaimed baggage in the airport, the CISF will be immediately alerted that, hey, you know what, we are able to see an unclaimed baggage in the airport, so go and investigate. And the same ideas could be used even in the security check that we all go through in airports, right? So powerful scanners can be induced, and it's not exactly cameras, but the idea is still the same. We're still doing some kind of an imaging. We're doing the imaging of the human body, and by looking at the image of the human body, you can try to predict, is that person a threat or not, instead of the manual screening that happens today, which is pretty much prone to errors, right? Somebody, if they want to hide something, they will anyways hide it. So how can we use thermal scanners, right? How can we go about that exactly? Excellent, excellent. Once previous slide before pricing slide, you were saying, or which one is that? This one, huh? This one, recommendation. Yeah. Well, you have to ask something here. Okay. Yeah, this is just the recommendation part only. Yeah, recommendation part only. Correct. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. This is just a recommendation part only. All right. If I have to give you another great application of image processing and generally image processing in the world of Walmart, this is a very exciting thing that came up just last year, March 2022 is when Walmart released it actually. And I know we have come across this use case a lot generally, but they actually kind of integrated this try-on technology for online shoppers. So it's not there in India today. Indian context, you can't use it. Amazon doesn't have it today. It's just a matter of time they integrate. But then what you can do is you can basically take a picture of yourself, and you can kind of try yourself in different clothing articles. Isn't that cool? It's something very similar to what Lenskart does in the Indian context. Like you can take uh, a picture of your face, and you can try out any kind of spectacles and see how you look like. Lenskart already has it. 360-degree view. Just make a picture of your face, and you can put any spectacles, and you can try on any spectacles, and whichever you like, you can just straight away order. Something very similar in the e-commerce context, when you want to try out a jean, you want to try out a top. Isn't it cool how they can do that? So Walmart actually, they acquired a company called Zkit. They acquired a startup called Zkit, and which leveraged a combination of image processing, deep learning to show shoppers how they would look in an item by taking into account the body dimensions, feet size, and everything, even the fabric of the garment. They're even looking at the fabric of the garment. If it's a cotton, it will be different. If it's jeans, it will be different. So it's quite incredible. It's as real as it can get, actually. Okay, so this is the try-on feature. You can see the how different people are looking in the same garment. See how the garment size is getting adjusted. See how cool it is, right? So here, this is a more of a fat lady, and is more of a very slim lady, and see how the garment size is getting adjusted based on who is wearing it, right? So this is really cool. And this is again another example, and you can see how the garment looks different in different people, right? So you can take the picture of your face, and you can kind of post a picture of your whole body, and the garment will automatically adjust, and it will show you a complete 360-degree view of how you will look like wearing that particular garment. Okay, so this is really cool, huh? And you can see this has changed my model, and customers can basically choose from, I think, 50 odd models, 50 to 100 odd models they can choose from. This is how the Walmart app looks like, right? You can take a picture, and then you can see change my model, and you can choose from different models actually, and you can kind of see how it looks like. Yes, yeah. All right, it's really cool. And you can see that there are a lot of startups that have also experimented. Walmart is right at the forefront of it. There are other startups you can read about it who have experimented with this idea. But this is again an absolutely mind blowing feature. And we have this feature to some extent in Flipkart also. I'm not saying that it's huge, but in Flipkart, let's say you're trying to buy some kind of a big appliance. Let's say um, you know uh, you want to buy some kind of a washing machine or a dishwasher or a refrigerator kind of thing. Flipkart basically allows you to take a picture of your room, and you can literally place your appliance there, and you can basically see how the how the appliance looks like in the context of your room. So if you think I can show you a small demo in the Flipkart app. So they use a something like augmented reality AR to show you that effect. It's really cool. You can visualize the washing machine how it looks like in your room, and and these are again excellent applications where uh, image processing is getting used. Very exciting space actually, and every time I talk about it, I myself get very excited about these things because it's just so nice to see how it looks like. Okay, this is the way how it looks like. You can see this is the thing I'm browsing right now. I'm in the Flipkart app. All of you can see my screen. Let me increase my brightness a little so that people can see a little better. This is the Flipkart app I'm in right now. This is the washing machine I'm searching. You can see this is the washing machine I'm in right now, and we get an option called View in 360. Can you see View in 360? There's an option that I get called View in 360. And if I click on view in 360, I can basically view that particular product in 360 mode. And if I click on this option called generate 3D, I can basically take a picture of my room, right? So I can basically kind of take a picture of my room. And there's an option that comes called view in the room. So it is loading. This is normal 360. And you get an option here at the bottom right saying view in your room. And when you click on that option, view in your room, it's still loading right now. And if I click on view in your room, it'll kind of give me a view of how the thing will look like in my own room. So this is again really cool how this thing works out. So this is again using a combination of augmented reality and computer vision. Okay, yeah. So these are some really cool things that Walmart is working on as we speak. Right. This is the wonderful blog people can read about. I know I talked about conversational AI, but just wanted to share something from the tech team at Walmart, how they're actually using it. Conversational AI is the next biggest thing right now. And I think we're seeing a lot of talk around job cuts and everything. I think one avenue that's probably going to get entirely redundant in the near future is customer support, because we have extremely powerful agents today, which can respond to support queries better, and which can give customers a wonderful experience, not like that useless ICICI Bank, useless chatbot we found. But we have something called ChatGPT at our disposal today, and if you are able to integrate that in the right way, you can literally solve every single question that customers are asking in ways infinitely better than a human can. I'm sure each one of you have talked to a customer support person, be it a Airtel, Geo, whatever. And ChatGPT will give you like responses way better than any of them probably. So customer support as an industry, call centers as we know it, or as we used to know it, will probably become entirely redundant as we speak, and probably for a good purpose. And whenever we talk about job cuts, one thing people often ask me is that, sir, uh, what happens to us, right? We're talking about job cuts, and well, I'll tell you what happens. We are creating better jobs, right? It's the same thing as the industrial revolution. So it's not just that jobs are getting over and machines will replace humans and AI will eliminate all jobs. But the idea is that you're getting a lot of jobs that are getting created in analytics. This the space that what we are talking about. We're getting a lot of jobs created here. So each one of you who are probably in customer support, or everybody who are probably in those kinds of areas and sectors which were completely redundant, they will be moving into more advanced sectors now. So a lot of jobs are getting created in this space. By eliminating jobs in those spaces, we are creating more high-end jobs. But that's the way you can think through what it is, right? Uh, Clustering and segmentation is another very interesting thing. Talked about real-time personalization. We talked about the dynamic pricing strategies. We also talked about. This is again a very interesting application of machine learning, friends, where as I said, we look at the different attributes of uh, the product and everything, and we try to predict what the prices will be. That's another good application. And these are some other examples of recommendations that we see. As I told you that whatever examples I'm talking about in the context of e-commerce is applicable for every other domain. So we talk about YouTube also has a personalized news feed. You open up YouTube, YouTube will basically give you a personalized view of a feed of uh, what type of videos that you have seen, what type of videos you might want to watch, and what are the recommended videos. Same applies for Netflix, same applies for Amazon Prime, all the OTT platforms. So they will recommend you the best movies, the movies that you might want to watch, and so on and so forth. So these kinds of things are applicable across other industries also. right? And also segmentation. Another great application of machine learning is clustering and segmentation, right? So we looked at lots of different types of prediction problems until now, but in the world of e-commerce, we are also doing a tremendous amount of clustering and segmentation problems, where we are looking at the different attributes of the customer and we are trying to find groups or clusters of customers. We are saying that, hey, customers like this are uh, we're trying to find different attributes or groups of customers where we are saying that okay, customers like this are so we are saying that hey, customers like this are um, uh, so customers like this are extremely high spenders, very high income customers and very high value customers, whereas customers like this are very low income customers and very low spending customers. On the other hand, you end up finding customers that are very high income but they don't spend a lot. So you're able to look at the profile of the customer, and on the basis of the profile of the customer, on the basis of the purchasing behavior of the customer, you are able to figure out the different groups and clusters of customers. That's another aspect of what we saw here, right? प्रतीक्षा लेक्चर तो इंग्लिश में ही होती है, लेक्चर तो इंग्लिश में होती है बिकॉज इट्स अ रिकॉर्डेड वीडियो होती है, जो हम यूट्यूब में भी रिलीज करते हैं. आइडिया इज दैट कि इंग्लिश इज द कॉमन लैंग्वेज जो सभी समझ पाते हैं. बट ऑन अ डिफरेंट नोट प्रतीक्षा, आई थिंक दिस इज वन अदर एवेन्यू वेयर मशीन लर्निंग कम्स इन हैंडी. तो आपने बिल्कुल सुना होगा स्पीच टू टेक्स्ट, टेक्स्ट टू स्पीच काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स, वेयर हम जो अभी आपसे बात कर रहे हैं इंग्लिश में, AI systems and something like a Google Assistant or Alexa can be used. उसको हम यूज कर सकते हैं जो आपका ये पूरा चीज का ट्रांसक्रिप्ट बना दे. जैसे जूम में ऑलरेडी ये फीचर है, तो पूरा मीटिंग का ट्रांसक्रिप्ट बन जाती है. ओके, तो वो पूरा चीज का ट्रांसक्रिप्ट बन जाती है एंड देन इट, और उसको हिंदी में कन्वर्ट कर देगी आपके लिए. So there are systems that are already doing that for you, which is pretty incredible. Good that you asked this, actually. So I think it's just a matter of time before we have those speak capabilities right on Zoom. हाँ, तो सेशन सारे इंग्लिश में है बिकॉज ऑफ अ ग्लोबल ऑडियंस दैट वी हैव पीपल फ्रॉम अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड टू जॉइन एंड हु आर जॉइनिंग राइट नाउ. लेकिन द नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ एआई विल बी कि जो मीटिंग्स इंग्लिश में होती है, हम रियल टाइम ट्रांसलेशन कैसे करें. ओके, इट कुड बी एक्सट्रीमली यूजफुल इवन फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ सो कॉल्ड लैंग्वेज ट्रांसलेटर्स. जो बड़े बड़े डिग्निटरीज आते हैं दूसरे देशों से, प्रधानमंत्री आते हैं, प्रेसिडेंट्स आते हैं, you would have seen that there are translators that are there with them, right? So I think the next level of AI could be उसका जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगा, आप ईयरफोन दे दीजिए, कोई बात करे, रियल टाइम ट्रांसक्रिप्शन हो जाएगा. So this is again a really cool application of how AI could be used actually. Zoom में काफी सारे features आए हैं. I think we are seeing a lot of features that have come in Zoom, but then yeah, so very very exciting space overall. अच्छा, हाँ, यस यस, इट डज सपोर्ट लाइव ऑडियो कैप्शंस, ट्रांसलेट भी हो जाता है. तो अभी जूम में नहीं होती है, बट आप क्या कर सकते हो कि ये जो ट्रांसक्रिप्ट है, जैसे यूट्यूब में आपका ये पूरा रिकॉर्डिंग जाएगा और यूट्यूब में जाके आपका कैप्शन ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएंगे, एंड व्हाट यू कैन डू इज वो कैप्शन से आप उसको हिंदी में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो. अपना मॉडल बनाइए, यूट्यूब में बाय डिफॉल्ट अवेलेबल नहीं है वो, बट इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ टाइम एंड मे बी ओवर द कोर्स ऑफ द नेक्स्ट फ्यू मंथ्स इट विल पिक अप. यस, बट वेरी एक्साइटिंग स्पेस. अच्छा. So moving on, I wanted to take up a couple of other use cases. We are almost nearing the end of my discussion, and we'll get into some other exciting things that are planned for you as part of this session. So before I move on, maybe I'll try to summarize a couple of these use cases for you as to what we are doing at Walmart and what type of problems we are solving at Walmart. So let me kind of tailor this particular part of the conversation specific to Walmart and show you uh, a few other things that are happening, particularly in the context of Walmart. So, so AI ML applications at Walmart, as I said, one good application would be in inventory. We are doing a lot of interesting stuff in inventory management, where we are looking at the different, we are looking at the inventory and we are trying to basically figure out the inventory, right? So cameras and sensors that are placed on shelves, how can we use those cameras and sensors to monitor stock levels, detect missing items, track inventory management, and this can be very, very useful to detect out of stock situations. Because imagine you're ordering something late night, Swiggy, Instamart, you can all relate to it. and you want to order milk and the milk is out of stock, is very bad, right? So how do you go back and apply machine learning there? So checkouts names, we already talked about computer vision systems that are actually there, theft detection, monitoring kind of aspects where it is getting used in a huge way. So we have seen that as well. And how do you optimize the whole supply chain? How do you go back and optimize the entire supply chain? How do you streamline your distribution center? That's another avenue where it is getting used a lot. And also in-store navigation. This is again very interesting. How how basically in-store navigation could be improved, and Walmart is actually doing that, because Amazon is only an app, but Walmart का app भी है, Walmart का stores भी है. So customers in US primarily, where it is being experimented, so they are trying out augmented reality applications that use computer vision. You can open up the Walmart app and you can help customers navigate through the stores, because Walmart stores are huge. And oftentimes when we go to a retail store, हमारा पहला क्वेश्चन होता है कि भाई ये कहाँ मिलेगा, वो कहाँ मिलेगा, right? So what you can do is you can basically guide the customers real time as they are in certain parts of the store. You can navigate the okay, turn a left, turn a right, go straight, and so on and so forth. So this is real time, navigation, in store navigation that basically happens in a big way. And during the peak of COVID, another great use case, another great model that Walmart used was PPE detection. You want to make sure all your employees at the store, all your employees working physically in the Walmart stores are following by the COVID protocols. They're all wearing the masks and things like that. Okay, so it's like a PPE kit detection. You want to make sure that every single employee is wearing the mask, every customer is following the protocols, and that was another excellent application of computer vision that we used here. Okay, so these are some interesting use cases. The smart shelves are also a very interesting idea, because how do you know which item to place, what to place? Is another great application that we talked about. Okay, so hope all of you got a good insight into what is happening. Another interesting idea that I would like to talk about is fraud detection. So normally, if you look at fraud detection, typically around gift items and किसी का account hack हो गया, so a disproportionate number of purchases are happening from the account, or a lot of gift items are getting redeemed from the account. So that's also an excellent use case where Walmart has fraud, detection checks in place. That's the same technology that credit card companies are using to identify frauds. Walmart also uses fraud detection checks to identify based on the attributes of the transaction, is it a fraud or not? So that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much what I wanted to discuss. This is part of what we wanted to discuss about Walmart, and we wanted to discuss about e-commerce and AI and machine learning generally. And I hope all of you really enjoyed the conversation. As every single person who joined in, all of you, everybody, all of you with me, all of you are active. Quick show of hands. Any questions that we can take up? Any questions that you would like to ask at this particular point in time? Quickly, maybe you can take a quick 3-4 minutes for some Q&A that you have right now, because the next phase of our discussion goes right to Alma Better. This is the part where we enter into the career discussion, where we start to talk more about the organization, we start to talk more about the courses, and we also start to talk about how we do things different. The same way that you saw today's session, that it was less about theory, it was more about, we talked about a lot of practical applications, and we trying to show you how things are actually happening in industry. Our sessions are also very similar to that. And I also take a lot of the classes here. And the next phase of the conversation will be, we'll talk about Alma Better, and we'll talk about what we do differently, and not just like a set of courses that you see, recordings that you see, but it's done in a very different way, and the team will be taking you through that. So I'll take up a few questions before we come to the Alma Better walkthrough, program walkthrough. And from there, we go to another section where there are a lot of exciting goodies and prizes to be won for you guys. Okay. Yeah. Prediction versus forecasting versus recommendation. Well, prediction and forecasting are kind of the same thing. Recommendation is where you're trying to kind of recommend some item. So prediction and forecasting are both types of problems where you're trying to predict something. Forecasting is also a kind of a prediction. No? You're trying to predict how much the sales will be next month, how much the sales will be next year. So prediction and forecasting, in both cases, you're trying to predict something. Whereas recommend is where you're trying to, it's kind of like unsupervised learning. If I have to use a more technical term, if you're aware, prediction, forecasting are both instances of supervised learning, whereas recommendation is more instance of unsupervised learning, where there is no output that we are trying to predict. in prediction and forecasting problems, you're trying to predict the sales. The sales is the output that you're trying to predict. Whereas in recommendation system kind of problems, there's no output that you're trying to predict. You're just trying to look at the different types of products the customer purchases, and you're saying that, hey, people who buy this also buy this, and next time you might also like to buy this. There's no output that you're trying to predict per se. Yeah. Hope that's clear. Yeah, but I use some technical jargons to be more specific. Prediction and forecasting are both supervised learning problems, whereas recommendation is an unsupervised learning problem because there is no output that you're trying to predict. Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you for asking that question. Wonderful. Wonderful. Any other questions? We see a lot of people who have joined in, and great to see the questions that trickling in. I hope all of you have enjoyed the session. All of you have, there's some very clear takeaways from the class. I hope all of you were able to follow along every single aspect of what we talked about today, and I hope you had a very good learning experience and a well worth it 2 hours, 1.5 hours with me in this session. Okay. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for for being a part of it. Each one of you, we had a big audience. In case you guys didn't see anything in the chat, because most of these were coming to private chat, only to the host and participants it was coming. That's why I think the chat was pretty empty. But great to see your participation, and each one of you. Thank you for being an audience to me. For at this point in time, I would like to hand over the session to the Alma Better team, and this is the next phase of the conversation that we'll be starting with. Yeah, yeah. So over to you. Over to you. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you so much, Sayan. It was a wonderful and so enriching and engaging session. Yeah,
Yeah.
really, we had a lovely session. All right, guys. Okay, so before we move on, I would like to give you a little glimpse about Alma Better. So I have the pleasure of introducing Alma Better, a game-changing platform in the world of data science and web development. All right. So Alma Better offers a comprehensive programs designed to equip the individuals with the skills required to thrive in the data-driven landscape. Our expert-led training and real-life projects provide unique learning experience that sets us apart. All right. So through hands-on training, the students gain practical expertise here and problem-solving skills crucial for the success in the industry. We also have a very supportive community, and which helps you and provides personalized mentorship to ensure students' growth and development. So at Alma Better, our vision is clear and ambitious: to become the world's most student-centric educational institution, providing incentive-aligned education with guaranteed learning outcomes, right? So the vision places the students at the heart of their endeavors, and basically, also we go ahead with tailoring to their individual goals and aspirations. Aligned with our vision, our mission is to provide risk-free education to students and empower them to realize their true potential. We understand the challenges students often face in the traditional educational system, and we strive to create an environment where the students can explore, learn, and grow without the fear of failure. So quality is another core value upheld by Alma Better. We are dedicated to delivering high quality trainings and learning platforms, ensuring optimal learning outcomes for our students. In addition, Alma Better embraces empathy as guiding principle. We recognize that each student brings unique experiences and backgrounds, and they foster a high level of empathy throughout their students' entire journey. By creating a supportive and inclusive environment, we ensure that every student feels valued and they can thrive regardless their prior knowledge or skill levels. Okay, so Alma Better is not just an educational institution, it's a visionary force that is reshaping the future of education. Though our student-centric, through our student-centric approach, commitment to transparency, we focus on the quality, empathy for learners, and dedication to collaboration. Alma Better is revolutionizing the way we learn and prepare our successful career, right? So yes, now I would like to hand it over to Manjul to take you through the dashboard. Over to you, Manjul.
Thank you so much, Kinjal. And thank you, Sayan, for this wonderful session. I've been taking these master classes now since like a couple of months. And whenever I do take all these master classes, it only excites me about the tools, the data topics through which industry is just growing, and other than growing, it is also providing a lot of opportunities to the newcomer. It may be a fresher from the non-IT backgrounds. If you're from a non-technical background, it only helps the learner to get that transition. So thank you so much for that. And hi everyone, good afternoon from my end. So as Kinjal told you about, the mission and vision of Alma Better and the way Sayan took this particular topic, one thing which is pretty sure, that this particular industry holds a lot for all of you, right? Again, I'm restating this statement. It doesn't matter you're from a technical background. It doesn't matter you're from a non-IT background. The thing that matters is that if you're very well skilled in few of the topics, a lot of good companies, as Sayan was talking about, some of the OTT platforms like Amazon or Netflix, you might end up getting an opportunity there also. But that requires a bit of dedication, a bit of discipline, and more importantly, it requires a bit of guidance from instructors or the mentors, the professionals who are already in this industry, right? So the first question that definitely arises in anyone's mind is that why we should go ahead with Alma Better. So I'm just sharing my screen and letting you know that why one should proceed ahead with Alma Better. So why students should go ahead with Alma Better? The first and foremost thing that most of the learners have in their mind is that we don't have any prior technical understanding about coding, about programming. No worries, we will cover it. If you do not have any basic understanding about all these stuffs, you need not to worry, because we will ensure that we are covering everything from scratch. We will tell you about what Python is, why Python is being used, maybe what else could be done by using MS Excel formulas, how well you can use SQL, right? So there are like multiple topics that are present in this particular data domain that you need to understand, learn, and which are required for your upskillment. And we will ensure that we are teaching all that to you from scratch till that level, so that you become pretty much industry ready, right? Because Kinjal stated one word out here that during that mission and vision part, that it's a risk-free education, right? That means that most of the times we pay a certain amount to maybe a college and an organization, but if we do not get the output, that is a high paying job or maybe a normal paying job also, actually that amount of money is lost. That doesn't happen here. We ensure that you're getting industry ready. We ensure that you're getting placed from our end, and then only you have to pay us the fees, right? So it becomes like more of a risk-free education where you learn first of all, then you earn, and then you pay the amount. All right. And for that, we have to ensure that you are getting fully prepared to all the relevant topics that are present in the industry. Now, again, how will this be happening? We will be having live classes, right, during the weekdays. And you will also have access to the recorded lectures of all the live classes that we will be taking during that time. Other than the live classes, you guys will also have a lot of master classes and special classes that will be taken by the industry experts only, like Sayan himself works at a Walmart, right? So amount of information, the amount of knowledge that Sayan will impart will definitely give you a lot of exposure of how this data domain is shaping every day. We talked about data domain, we talked about machine learning, we talked about artificial intelligence. So obviously the one who is currently working in that particular industry will help you a lot in understanding how things are changing and shaping there, right? No, you have gone through the recorded lectures, you have gone through the special classes, you got through the recorded part as well. It's time to practice. And for that, we have like capstone projects. Along with that, you will have coding problems and assessments. It's always good that if you learn anything theoretically, you should know where to use it in practical life, because we have been doing this wrong, I believe, throughout our time period where we have studied, that we know about addition, we know about subtraction, we know about multiple things. But when we talk about what are their practical implementation, we know about it bit later on, bit later part. So this time around, we have ensured that not only you are learning those topics, but you're also understanding that how those topics can be used in real world to solve problems. Okay. Again, if you're watching the classes, if you're watching the recorded lectures, you will have doubt. So we do ensure that if you have doubt, we have a live support also out here at Alma, but I will be discussing more about that. It basically occurs in between Monday to Saturday, right? The timings are 10:30 a.m. till 7:30 p.m. So you can just live, resolve all your doubts. And again, we have like mentorship support as well. There are like multiple job roles that are available in this data domain, and it's important that you should get the right set of guidance to ensure that you are going in a right path, in a right direction for that particular job role, right? It's pretty much important. Already told you, it's learning, practice, and guidance that is pretty much required if you want to get the transition from a learner to an earner. We have like, again, this is the learning part that we do, the live classes, the recorded lectures, the capstone projects, the coding problems, the mentorship sessions, the doubt resolution sessions. All these are like learning ka part. Then we get into the placement part, right? So this learning part will take you around 6 months, and after that we will start preparing you for the interviews, right? We will start preparing your resume. We will try to build your LinkedIn profile, right? We will try to ensure that we are covering each and every loophole that is there before you go into any of the real-time interviews. And again, once you are ready, we ourselves have like 700 plus hiring partners. These company ranges from the product-based companies to the service-based companies to the MNCs to many of the startups that are happening in our country. India is definitely one of those countries where a lot of startups are happening. Every year we have become that startup hub. So obviously, those startups need people. They need that skilled people in their organization, so that they can just get into that MNCs wala path, or maybe some huge companies. So obviously we have like 700 plus hiring partners, and we do ensure that you're getting yourself placed out of these partners that we have. Now, a lot of activities already being discussed before that. You will have like projects, assignments, live lectures, a lot of group discussions will be happening. I believe that if we want to achieve something, we have to ensure that we are discussing few of the topics in group only, because what I have felt that every particular problem will have multiple solutions, and we can only reach out to those multiple solutions by discussing that problem with couple of people, or maybe more than that. So group discussions become very important, and we do have that on regular basis. Guest lectures, just like Sayan came up here, and he's also a faculty member of Alma Better. He just comes here and gives these master classes. These are like guest lectures. So we do ensure that people who are currently working in this industry do come up to you and they give you that guest lecture, so that you can just get to know what's going on in this data domain in a much more better way. Community has been discussed by Kinjal only, that we do have that community where we have like our alumni, our recent students who are studying with us, our instructors, mentors, we are there. So you can have a good peer-to-peer connection out here. Who knows, by using these connections only, you might end up getting a very good job by the time you're ending this particular program, right? And then there are like capstone projects and competency challenges that are obviously part of this program, so that we can also track what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and if you're doing something wrong, it's high time we should try to correct it as well. So a lot of activities, a lot of things that will be going on in the 6 months of program that we have to offer to you. Okay, now when we talk about 700 plus companies that are hiring with us, I told you they're ranging from the product based companies, like we have like Amazon with us, then we have like service based companies where we have Capgemini, Accenture is there, then we have a lot of startups. When we talk about Cred is there, Uber is there, then we have consultancy firms as well, like KPMG is there, finance companies are there, JP Morgan is there, then we have Grow as well, PwC, again a very huge consultancy firm that we have here, who are tied up with us. So again, a lot of good companies waiting for you, right? Ranging from different background. Some of them are from IT, some of them are from finance, some of them are from pharmaceutical companies. So obviously, even if you're a working professional, okay, and if you're working in a domain which is non-technical, you still have a huge opportunity to get yourself transitioned into the technical role in the very same field. Let us assume some of you might be working in HSBC or maybe HDFC. That's a complete banking sector. You might upscale yourself and get yourself transitioned in any of the finance companies that we have, like JP Morgan Chase is there, Pesa Bazaar is there, HSBC you can see in front of you. So it doesn't matter whether what's your background is. If you have skills, definitely you will end up getting the transition that you're looking forward for. Now this is very interesting. This entire graph, it shows the salary distribution of Alma Better graduates, and I'm talking about the freshers, right? They don't have any prior experience, right? They're freshly graduates, they're new in the market. So how we ensure that they're getting that transition? 19% of the students, they get a minimum package of 5 to 7 lakhs per annum. We promise each one of you a minimum package guarantee of 5 lakhs per annum. Okay, and we ensure that 19% of them are getting in that range. Now, what is more encouraging is the fact that people who are in the range of 7 to 8 lakhs per annum have grown up. Now, it's like 29% of the people, they do get a package of 7 to 8 lakhs per annum. What's even more encouraging is the fact that 37% of the learners, they get a package that is ranging in between 8 to 9 lakhs per annum. So in between range of 7 to 9, there are like 66% of the freshers who are graduating from us are getting into that category, right? So although we do promise 5 lakhs per annum, just to be on the safer side, many of the learners, they do fall in the category of 7 to 9 lakhs per annum. What is even more encouraging for all of you is that in between 9, or maybe you can say more than 9 lakhs per annum, like 15% of the people, they do get a salary package that is more than 9 lakhs per annum, out of which 3%, obviously they get more than 10 lakhs per annum. So if you're working hard, if you're disciplined, if you are dedicated toward this course, if you are watching your lectures, practicing well, getting proper guidance from the mentors, you might end up in that 3% zone who are earning more than 10 lakhs per annum. And more than 10 lakhs per annum ka matlab is you're earning approximately 1 lakh rupees per month. And as a fresher, it's a huge deal, what I believe. So, I always say that you should aim always high, right? And if you're studying with us, with this organization, try to ensure that you're part of that 3%, right? Because we want that percentage to increase as much as we can, because there are multiple job roles that are available in the market, right? It's just the right set of skilled people whom these organizations are looking forward to. Okay. Some of our instructors, Sayan is also, one of our instructors. He's currently working as a data science consultant in Walmart. Then we have like Rachit Jain, who is working in BCG. So BCG is again a very huge consultancy firm. Boston Consultancy Group is the name of this organization. Then we have Ekta Maheshwari working at Accenture. Then we have Sankalp Jain, Ravi Ranjan. We have Jyotirmay Dev, who is currently working in Apple now. Again, Apple is a huge product-based company. It's a huge MNC, and we have got instructors from these companies. So just understand the amount of exposure you will be getting, studying from them. They know everyday basis what is going on, what needs to be done. Is there any update in any of the tools? Just check out Neeraj Sharma. He's working at Microsoft. So if anything is happening at Microsoft, you people will be the ones who will get to know about it, because obviously Neeraj will be sharing his experience from Microsoft as well. That, okay, currently I'm using on this particular tool, and this is how Microsoft is actually solving the problem. Okay. So this is what we talked about, the instructors and then the mentors part. And there are many more, instructors and mentors who are from the, product-based companies as well as from service-based companies. And we have shown you some of the examples out here. Now, success stories. I feel really happy when people who have studied from us got that particular transition, from learner to earner, and they come up to us and they write reviews about us, that what worked for them. Because I believe that for every learner, that things that could have worked might differentiate. For someone, guidance would have worked. For someone, practice would have worked. For someone, right set of lectures would have worked. For someone, right set of mock interviews would have worked. But one thing that is common among all of them is that they just never gave up. They just kept on studying. Whatever topic they faced were difficult, they tried to understand that, from different, point of contacts that we have, maybe from instructor, maybe from the mentors, maybe from the, life support system that we have out here. So these people, they just stick, because I have seen that many of the learners, they do start these courses, but then somehow uh, when they start facing difficulty, they try to get away from this. That is not what we have to do, because all of us are here for that transition thing, right? So even if you're facing any difficulty in anything, reach out to the right set of people that we have here at Alma Better, because we're here to help you, right? Try to complete this, right? Once you have the right set of skill sets, which we will be providing to you, there is no such a difficulty that you will face in getting that particular transition. And people have got placed, right? Uh, and few of the success stories are here also. It could be Rohan, who is currently working as a web developer. It could be Siri Srinivasan, again working as a developer. We can have Pradhan, who is working as a data analyst. So, again, Somajit Das, working as a business analyst. So what we can do is that you can also visit to the Alma Better website and can check out their LinkedIn profiles. You will come to know that from where they started and from where they are right now, right? So the journey that they have completed, it's just huge and inspiring as well. Okay, so before I proceed ahead and give you a walkthrough of the dashboard that we have, do we have anything in the question segment? Anyone wants to? Rashika has okay. Any questions till now regarding the program, or should I just help you out with the dashboard part? I can just spend like a couple of minutes out here. Okay, so course duration for this particular program is 6 months. Okay, and that is for the learning part. So you have to invest 6 months out there. There is no if and but in that particular duration. The scope of AI, ML, and data science for a fresher is something which I will say is huge, because even the masterclass that we were taking, you would have seen one thing, that these companies are actually looking forward for the people who are highly skilled in these domains. And if you have those skill sets in the right way, obviously you might end up getting a job maybe in Netflix or even at Amazon Prime. That is not a big deal. We will help you getting the jobs, Kamaila. We first of all, we will upskill you, and then from there on we will also prepare you for the interviews. And once you are pretty much prepared with the theoretical and the practical understanding that we have out here, getting a job will not be difficult with 700 plus hiring partners that we have. Yes, they are. Again, I showed you that particular sheet, and those companies, and that data is for the freshers only. Okay, so the screen is still shared. So let's go to the Alma Better dashboard, and I will just give you a walkthrough. So this is how the dashboard looks like when you sign in. This is how it looks like, that you will get a certification in full stack data science and artificial intelligence, that is AI. Till now, we used to tell the students about the data science thing. Again, we also used to add machine learning to it. But now for the upcoming batches, that is starting from 29th August, we have also included artificial intelligence. You must have heard about ChatGPT. You must have heard about Midjourney. You must have seen how AI is actually taking most of the manual jobs, and they're taking it in a very rapid way. So if you want to stay relevant in this field, it's high time that you should just upskill yourself, right? So again, the question was being asked by Pamela about the duration of the program. So we will have the 6 months of duration, and the topics will include few of the AI tools. Along with that, obviously, we have added more topics to the machine learning part as well. Again, this is very important that you guys need to understand that you do not need any prior coding experience for this. Okay, as already being discussed, we will ensure that you are learning everything from scratch, because had we only needed people who are from IT background, we would have taken tests before taking the admissions. But we don't do that. We believe that if a particular person wants to learn, it's on us that we should teach them, right? And that is why we don't take any prerequisites or test, and we do not require also any prior experience or any prior knowledge about coding or programming. Again, 700 plus hiring partners, 8 lakhs per annum is the average salary. I told you that salary ranges in between 8 to 12 lakhs per annum. People, majority of the audience, they do fall in the category who have a package of more than 7, 8 lakhs per annum. highest package, again, if you're working really hard, if you got things right, if you're well guided, you just never know, you might end up getting this figure as well, which is in itself a very huge figure. You will learn from the top 1% instructors, has already been stated, and you can check out the companies from where we have got down these instructors, or I say in a more professional term, practitioners, because they are the ones who are working out there. Some of the reviews that you will end up getting, right, from the website only, you can just check their LinkedIn page as well, and you will understand that how was their journey and how they got this transition. This is important. We have like computer programming where we start with Python, then we have this chat GPT topic that we have included just to ensure that how you can write these programming while using the AI tool. Then we have more of the numerical programming in Python. Again, this will be taught to you from scratch. The first topic is only getting started with Python. That will include what Python is and how it works. Then we have relational databases where you will have SQL. Again, ChatGPT will be taught to you here as well. Then we have data visualization tools that consist of MS Excel, Tableau, Power BI, as well as SQL is there. Then we have statistics part. Bit of statistics will be taught to you. Then we have machine learning. Then we have a bit more of deep learning. Product analytics will also be part of this particular uh, program that will be of 6 months. So this is the foundation track that we say that is of 6 months. This is how your certification looks like. Okay. You will be getting the certification from Alma Better, and obviously since we have like 700 plus hiring partners with us in all those companies, this particular certification will be valid. All right, so there are a few of the criteria for this particular certification course that we provide, that you need to be a graduate. You should have completed the foundation course. Obviously, you have to complete that foundation track for 6 months. And there are a few tests that are also being taken out there. Now, once you have completed the 6 months of learning, it's time for you to start preparing you for the interviews. And it starts with, business communication classes, then, email writing, working on your LinkedIn, building your resume part. All those things are being taught to you. Right, then again, interview preparation part, mock interviews, a lot of things do take place in that particular program, placement service things that we have out here. And again, you will have more and more practice, because I believe coding is all about practicing. The more you will practice, the more you will excel it. All right, and again, already told you about the placement services that we have. AlmaX is just one of the terminologies for placement that we have out here, where we have like resume building, job application, growth part is there. You will have a dedicated career coach for that. You will have multiple mock interviews, and these are some of the companies that are already part of us, and I've already discussed it with them. So just getting more into it, let's sign in here. I am already one of the enrolled learners of Alma Better. So this is how the dashboard looks like. Okay, so if you go to certification, data science and AI, this is how it looks like. I was enrolled in cohort Paris. Paris is again one of the name of the batches that we have out here. Cohort means batch, so I was part of batch Paris. So when you open the enrolled or the paid version of Alma Better, the first thing that you get is the upcoming live class that you will be getting. Okay. Other than that, you will also get to know about the tracks. That the first one is obviously Python track, where you will get topics, subtopics, and that's how things go here. Like all these chapters are already being done. Then you have like some of the quiz that will be taking part. Then you have more of the subtopics of Python only. And then there is like revision that will be taking place, where you will be getting a lot of things to practice, right? There is one of the research paper also that you will be working on. A lot of things, just in only one topic, that is in module 1, you will be getting a lot of things that you can learn from here, which in itself will help you prepare for the jobs from start, only from day 1 only. And this is how it goes. Like there is one of the capstone projects as well, right? And then we go into numerical programming, then we go into databases, data visualization tools, statistics, and then obviously machine learning. And all these topics will also include some of the AI tools as well. Okay, your progress you can see from here. I have only taken 1 lecture, so my progress is only 2%. But again, you can check this progress, that where you are currently, and you need to ensure that you are maintaining the pace with the way batches going on. Okay, so this is the place from where you will get to know about your recording classes as well. Last time it was Cyan who took the class only. It was about the data visualization tools. You can click on this recording part, and your recorded lecture will start. Even if you have missed any of the classes, you might end up learning things as well. Okay. So even if you miss any of the classes, you can just click on view recording, and you will end up getting uh, some of the recording classes of those live lectures. Other than that, if any of the classes have notes, you might end up getting these handouts as well, where you can just click on this and you might end up getting the notes as well. Like this is the notes that you might end up getting, which you can obviously study when you're not watching the lectures live. Okay. And if there is any of the live classes that is happening, like there is this upcoming classes that will be starting, this join class section, okay, so it will get unlocked. You can just click on this join class and you can enter into the classroom. So this is how the live classes and the recorded classes work here at Alma Better. I told you about thousands of questions that you have for practice. This is where you can get from the practice section, that is coding problems, code assessments, quiz assessments, a lot of things that you can practice upon. Projects, we have like 20 projects with us, out of which you have to do 4 to 5. That is pretty much compulsory and mandatory. So these are some of the projects, and you have to choose any one of them, and you have to ensure that whatever you have learned in that particular module, you're applying all those knowledge to solve these project based problems. Again, this is for the placement track that you will be having. So you can also track how much topic you have completed, and how much you need to complete more. So all these things are there. Mentorship session, again, you can book sessions from here on from the industry experts. If you want to get any kind of academic counseling, you can book here as well. If you want some guidance in project part, just click here, add your date, your time preference, and you have to book these sessions a week prior to, so that we can check out the availability of the instructors, the mentors, and you can sit with them and can discuss about the doubts if you have any. Okay, there's one more thing that I really want to show. At the bottommost right, you will have this help section where you can report a problem. This is again an offline thing that you can do, but this is something which really I was talking about, the doubt resolution session, the live support that we have out here. If you enter this event, just enter your name, and you reach directly to our subject matter experts that we have out here, right? So even if you're watching any of the recorded classes, or if you fail to understand any of the topics during the live lectures, or if you fail to solve any of the problems, you can just go there, and you can take any of the tables out here. Look, there is a subject matter expert for data science, right? And there is someone for web development as well, and for master's classes as well, right? You can just grab any of the chairs. If these chairs are all full, you can just wait here on these empty chairs, and once your turn comes up, you can directly join this table and can solve your doubt via video session as well, right? So it's like that live doubt session right now that Alma Better is providing to you, that helps you understanding a lot of things in real time as well. Okay, you can track your performance from here, as already being discussed, right? This is our community. Again, in this particular community, you will find people who are currently studying with us, our alumni, our instructors, people from placement team, people from learning team. You will even find me out there. So it's like a mini LinkedIn of Alma Better, where you can connect with people, because I believe that if you're in part of any of the organization, the first and foremost thing that you really need to work upon is peer-to-peer network connection. So yeah, that was that for this particular part of the student dashboard walkthrough part. So again, if you guys have anything that you want to discuss, I will be more than happy to assist you out here. Any questions, you can just write it in the Q&A tab, or you can just write in the chat section as well. I'm still waiting for the questions. No such questions so far. So you guys can directly visit to the Alma Better website as well, and you can just go through that website. I can just pin the link out here only. so that you guys can directly go to the website and can check it out. You will learn more of the offerings that we have out here. Yeah, so Farman, a simple way, again, I'm just sharing my screen. This is where you can go ahead for the recording part. So you can just go to the classroom part out here. You can go to the completed part, and from here on, you can check or click on the recordings part as well. Once you will click on this recording part, the recording classes will start. I hope I clarified your doubt. All right. Rashika, you can, you can contact to one of our academic counselors. You will get the number from the website only, and you can connect with us, and we will help you understanding about the topics that you're talking about. Okay, so today's session, obviously it will be shared you via email. Yes, so Camilla, for the first 6 months, there is a tuition fees that you guys need to pay, and that is 29,999, right? Which you need to pay for these 6 months of classes. That includes live lectures, recorded lectures, obviously projects, assignments, case studies, right? So for these 6 months, you have to pay this particular amount. After that, once you get yourself placed at a minimum package of 5 lakhs per annum or above that, then you have to pay us like 10,000 for 24 months. But initially, the tuition fees is 29,999. All right. So that was that from the end of the dashboard walkthrough that we have. You know, I still believe it is something that the topic, especially of data domain, is something which will definitely help you in getting that transition. Exactly, Camilla. That is the total fees. But obviously, the later part of the fees you only have to pay once you have your job in your hand. That is why we say that it's a risk-free education that we provide to our learners. So initially, it's 29,999. I'm still waiting for the questions. We still have like attendees out here. So if you have anything that you want me to answer. Yes, Camilla, that is like that only. All right. I think I've answered most of the queries. And if you guys have anything that you want to get answered, or if you have any queries, you can reach out to us. You can just go to the website. You can call on our, number that's there, and one of our academic counselors will get in touch with you to give you more of the insights about how things go on. Obviously, I've covered most of the parts, but still, if you have any doubt, you can directly, reach out to us as well. So, Kinjal, that was that from my end. You can conclude this, by sharing the coupon code that will be valid for next 24 hours for the learners, all those who stayed here till the end of the class, so that they can get I can say the discounting part over the registration fees that we have right here. Okay, over to you, Kanjal.
Thank you so much, Manju. Thank you. All right, guys, just give me a moment. Let me share my screen with you. Perfect. So we are going ahead with the quiz, right? So whoever is the winner of the quiz will get an Amazon voucher worth rupees 2,500, and the runner-up is going to get the voucher of 1,500. And the discounted coupon for the Alma Better program, for the winner, it is going to be 25%. For the runner-up, it is going to be 20% and 15% for all the participants, right? Okay, so I'll quickly take you through the terms and condition. You have to fill a form right away. I'm going to share the link in the chat box. 1 second, let me do that. All right. Okay. So, guys, everybody, please fill this form. So, make sure that you fill the form with the correct information. The failure to do so will result in instant disqualification. Second thing, any form of cheating or any unethical behavior while you take the quiz will result in immediate disqualification. The quiz organizers reserve the right to disqualify participants who violate the terms and conditions. The participants will be awarded points for each correct answer. The final score will be based on the cumulative points earned through the quiz. Okay. In event of a tie, the time of submission will be considered for ranking purposes. Okay, so if you have submitted the form, if you have submitted the answers of the quiz earlier, you're going to get the first rank there, right? Okay, so the prizes will be delivered to the winners via email, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn. And the result will be disclosed on social media platforms. Winners may be required to provide additional information for prize delivery purposes. I hope this is clear. Guys, please fill the form. And once you're done filling the form, please put it in the chat box that you have filled the form. And then only we will be starting with the quiz. I repeat, once you are done with filling the form, please put it in the chat box that you have filled the form, and then only we are going to move ahead with the quiz. Guys, once you're done filling the form, please put it in the chat box. Okay, Farman is done filling the form. What about the rest? Guys, please fill the form and let us know. Others, could you please confirm if you have filled the form?
Only 2 guys filled the form.
Okay.
The form, then only we can proceed with the quiz, guys. If we won't get response on Google form, we won't conduct a quiz.
Noted.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can see that Pratiksha and Farman, you guys have filled the form. What about the others?
Guys, due to very less participation in Google form response, we are not going to conduct the quiz for this session. I hope you all liked this session. And for discount, 15% discount, you can use coupon code LEARN15. I'm going to share the coupon code in the chat box. You can use that code to get 15% off on all our courses. Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Manjul. Thank you, Kinjal, for hosting the session.
Thank you. Thank you. And there's one more thing, that this coupon code will remain only valid till next 24 hours, right? So it's already like 1:30. So by 1:30 tomorrow, this will expire. So if you're looking forward for this 15% discount, do ensure we are using it before 1:30 tomorrow. And there is a small request from my end to all the participants who are still there, that do ensure that your friends are also coming in this session, right? And this code, it will remain valid till next 24 hours. That was that. Thank you. Thank you, Narendra. Thank you, Kinjal.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, everyone,
everyone.
for joining.
Bye-bye.